Hey, good afternoon. My name's Chris Gunn, and once again, welcome to my channel, Chris Gunn's Bourbon Barrel Creations. So, this is going to be take 3 on this video. And what I want to do in this video, I want to talk about the Spillway Wine and Spirits Block Party. I tried to make this about a week ago. I got 5 minutes into the video, and my camera died. I tried to make it about 10 minutes ago, and if you can hear the scratchiness of my voice, I got a head cold right now. Me and my little brother got sick while we were in Mississippi. So, if I got to take a drink of water, if I start coughing, I apologize, because in the last video I got in a coughing fit and I just shut it off. But anyway, so let's get on with this. Spillway Wine and Spirits is a liquor store in Brandon, Mississippi, and every year they do a block party and they do an allocation release. And the way they do it is they do 5 rounds of about 60 bottles per round, and you get an armband and you get a ticket, and then this year it was the first time they only gave you 1 ticket. Last year they gave you like a ticket every hour. And then, once they got started, they randomized, they used a condunculator or something. I'm not sure how they did it, but they run the numbers, and then you could they had a screen up and you could look at your phone and you could figure out where you were in line. And depending on where you were in line was how good a chance you had to get the real high-end bottles. And this year they had some really good bottles. They had a Coy Hill in every round. They had Heaven Hill 19 years, some Old Fitz, some Blanton's Gold, some other really high-end stuff that was really nice. And then, they had some mid-tier stuff, and then they had some bottom-tier stuff. But either way, it was a real good chance to get some good bottles. I had went there last year with Sean from Echoes and Eternity Bourbon, and we had a phenomenal time. And I walked away last year with a bunch of Spillway store picks. And I'll talk more about those as we kind of go along. So anyway, in conjunction with the Spillway Wine and Spirits Block Party, Bruzel does a takeover of the Old Soul Cathead Distillery the night before. So we had went over there the night before, and it was a pretty good time. He picked a wheater, which my understanding was the first time Old Soul had ever done a wheater. And I tried all 3 of them, because the way it worked was you could try the 3 samples, and then you had a ticket, and you basically put the ticket in the box that you thought was the best, and then they ran the numbers on the tickets, and then they kind of figured out which one they were going to pick. So it was interesting, but it wasn't good enough that I wanted to buy a bottle of it. They did have a 15-year Old Soul in their gift shop, but which I did try and was good, but it was just not. I just wasn't prepared to spend $300 on it. So anyway, let's get back to Spillway Wine and Spirits. The day before, we had gotten over there early, so we went on in Spillway to just kind of get the lay of the land. And Justin is their store manager. He was giving out samples at their bar. I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm starting to get real scratchy throated. So Justin was handing out samples the day before, and we got to sample all the stuff they had as far as store picks. Now, if you go to Spillway Wine and Spirits for no other reason to get their store picks, then it's a trip well made. And that's what I focused on last year, and I did it again this year. When I travel, this is kind of what I used to do when I was still in the Army. When the Army would send me on trips and I had time to get out and maybe grab some dinner and do a little bourbon shopping, I'd always target stuff that I knew for a fact I couldn't find in the area I lived in. And so for Spillway had it. And so I'll take another drink real quick. So I'm going to kind of talk about the stuff I got this year. The first thing I picked up was this. And this is Old Dominick out of Tennessee. This is one of their R&D bottles, research and development bottles. This is called Bourbon Colada. And what this is bourbon finished in a coconut lime beer barrel. Now, is this the best thing in the world I've ever drank? Absolutely not. Is it probably one of the more unique things I've ever drank? Yes. And for $29.99, this was, a Spillway Block Party exclusive. This was definitely something I was taking home with me. And it's just, Sean put it on. We had a bottle shared the day after we got back, and Sean had it there, and a lot of people were like, wow, I've never tasted anything like that. So That was kind of the first thing I got there. Now, when I talk about those kind of bourbons that I've shot for that you can't find in your area, this is definitely one of them. What this is Whiskey Tree, and this is a high rye bourbon cast strength that Spillway picked. And this is from a distillery in New Orleans called 7-3 Distillery. I had heard rumblings about this from some other YouTubers, and you know, when we tried it, I was like, that's legit. That's really good. And so I picked this bottle up. Now, the other thing I picked up from Bywater, or I'm sorry, 7-3 Distillery, was this Bywater bourbon. And this is a 4-grain. And so, yeah, if you get a chance to find some Bywater bottles, by all means, grab you some. Okay, get another drink. I've absolutely never been this dry mouth when I'm trying to make a video. Okay, the one thing I went to Spillway last year to grab, and I repeated this year, was Crittenden's Cut Above. So Matt Crittenden is a craft distiller in Mississippi, and his stuff is phenomenal. This one in particular, this was a toasted, and this, I believe the proceeds from this one go to Parkinson's disease research, but it was really good. So this was one of the ones I grabbed. Now, the second one I grabbed was one that I went after last year. And last year, the only way you could get it was if you got pulled in a lottery, then you forfeited getting like allocated bottle to get it. And I was good with that because it was going fast. But this year it was one per. You didn't have to be in a lottery to get it, but you get one per. And that was Crittenden's Cut Above, finished with toasted pecan wood. My understanding is one of the Mississippi sippers, he had a tree go down in his yard. They cut the wood up, and they seasoned, or they let it air dry, and then they put it in a bourbon barrel, and they had a hit. Okay, moving along. This is another one of the Crittenden's that I picked up. In all, I picked up 7 bottles of Crittenden's, because I'm just telling you it's that good. Do not sleep on Crittenden's is what I'm trying to say. This is a rye whiskey finished with black walnut wood. And when we tried this on the bar, every one of us unanimously said this one was a banger. So we were like grabbing that one. Okay. Now, one of the kind of cool things they do is they call it, Matt calls it, or Spillway or someone, I don't know, someone calls it. They call it their Cryptic series. And they're all kind of got like a Halloween kind of theme. This one was the 1031. And they named this after the barrel they pulled, which was barrel 1031, which was, Halloween, the date of Halloween. It's a 4-year. It's pretty good. Now, another one I grabbed was this one. This was a Boo Rye. Bruzel did this event up in Opelika last year. It was like a block party he did up there, and he did it right out there in front of John Emerald Distillery. But Spillway came over with a bunch of these bottles. They didn't have these last year when I went to the block party. And so I was like, oh, that one's pretty good for a Boo Rye. And Justin had told me, and Sean and my brother, they said, I'm pretty sure I've only got 3 bottles left. You better grab them now. And so I grabbed one, Sean grabbed one, and from my brother could grab the third one. Another gentleman heard what Matt said, and he grabbed it. And so my brother, he lucked out on getting that bottle. Okay, one of the other bottles I tried last year when I went to Bruzel's block party was this Mothman. And this is like finished in 3 different barrels, and I should have put my glasses on, but I didn't. Moscata, Naranja Port, and Sweet Vermouth wine cask. That might actually be 4 things. I'm not sure. Anyway, either way, this one's really good. This one was so good at Bruzel's block party, I got in line probably 15 to 20 times. And I just kept rolling. I tried a lot of different stuff, like Old Dominic was there and some other places, but this was my standout for Bruzel's block party. And they kind of got to a point, they started laughing because they just knew I was cooking. They just kept they already had me a little sample thing ready to go. So anyway, Mothman. I was so glad that I got there and got that. Now, for me, though, out of all the Crittenden bottles I got, this was my favorite one there. This is called Wampus Cat. And this is rye whiskey finished with black cherry wood staves. This thing is a straight up just flavor bomb. I just could not get over how good this one was. And I was like, man, that's definitely taking a trip home in an F-150. So those were kind of the Spillway store picks I got. Now let's talk about what I pulled in the lottery. I didn't ever get called. My ticket just never got run. But by round 4, a lot of people were leaving. And interestingly enough, I didn't think about this till I got home. They were just handing my brother, for whatever reason, people were just handing my brother tickets. Like, we're not sticking around, we're leaving. We're not sticking around, we're leaving here. And my brother had a pocket of them, but he never really looked at them. I think probably because he had been sampling bourbon all day, and he was just feeling no pain. But anyway, he handed them to me, throwing the garbage can when he left my house Saturday night. I went inside, pulled up round 5 just to look at them, and we would have got pulled. If we had stayed there, we would have got pulled. It was like 54, 69, and I want to say 89 or something. But we would have probably had a fairly good chance of getting something decent in that 5th round. But we had already left by the 4th round ourselves because we knew we had a 6-hour drive to get home. I think now, in hindsight now, I think it would have probably been in our benefit to have stuck around until round 5 and even past round 5 to see what hadn't been claimed and what was up for sale. But anyway, in round 4, yeah, we did stick around for round 4. Because in round 4, a gentleman handed me a ticket and he said, "Here, I'm leaving, but I'm 172 in line. Go get in line." And I was like, 172, man, that's way back in line. I just don't think I'll get anything good. But my brother kept saying, go up there, see what you can get. Because my brother had gotten, his ticket had gotten called twice, and he got a Peerless Toasted and a Ancient Age. He can't get either one of them where he lives. So he was like, "I'm going to grab one of these." And I was like, okay. Now, for me, kapow. If anybody knows me, they know what I like. And what I like is Master's Keeps. They had at least one of them left on the shelf when I went in there. And I could see it through the glasses. I was kind of walking down the line. And I kept thinking to myself, you need that thing like you need a hole in your head because you already got this one. But this one in particular is the Triumph, which is this year's. It's 10-year plus rye whiskey, and it's phenomenal. And so I was like, you know what? I've been looking for a backup bottle, so here we go. I got it now. So I was pretty stoked by that one. And when I got it, I just went on and put it in the truck, walked back over where my little brother was, and he was like, "Did you get anything good?" And I just kind of told him a fib. I go, "No, I didn't get anything." And then when he got in the truck, of course, he saw it sitting on the floor, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, you didn't get anything." Whatever. Okay, so that was kind of the Spillway Wine and Spirits -1 thing. And I saved this for last because this was the best. There was a group of people there. They were called Fifth Squad. And if you go back and you watch some of Bruce's videos, you'll see where he was in New Iberia, Louisiana, at a place called Acadian Distillery, I believe it's called. I got the hat downstairs. They give me, or I got a hat from them. It was a pretty cool looking hat. But Bruce Lee had went there to do a barrel pick, and he met these guys, or this group. And what this group is, Fifth Squad is a nonprofit organization that is comprised of active duty and retired military personnel, and they go out of their way to help soldiers or just military people in need. Some of the examples they gave me was if an individual can't pay their rent, or they can't put groceries on the table, or for whatever reason, they'll go out of their way to help them make those, to help deal with those life events. And I'm going to tell you, for being in the Army for 31 years, I know that people need help from time to time. I needed help from time to time when I was in the military, and people that I served with or served under went out of their way to help me. So I know what it is to need help. But they were just a super, super great group of people. And I've been in contact with them since I've come back from Spillway, and I mean to continue to be in contact with them because I want to help them help other soldiers. So if you haven't heard about this group, they're called Fifth Squad. Look them up on Facebook. Look them up on Instagram. You know, and if you feel the urge to donate to them, by all means do, because it will go to a deserving person. But just once again, that was the highlight of the trip for me, was meeting those people. Just super great group of people. Okay. So that was kind of the Spillway event, and the you know, and the sidebar Old Soul Bruisal Takeover kind of event. No doubt in our mind, we'll probably be going back next year. The other couple things we did last weekend was Sean did a he did a bottle share here in Columbus, Georgia, and then that was on Sunday, and then Monday I went with Sean and 4 other individuals down to 13th Colony, and we did a barrel pick for Echoes in Eternity bourbon. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, but I got to tell you, that was one of the funnest things I think I've ever done, bourbon related, in my life. So hopefully by the time I make that video, my voice won't be so scratchy and I can talk a lot more. But either way, thank you for listening to me as I kind of rambled on about my thoughts about the Spillway event. If you like what you see, you know, please like, subscribe, ring the bells for notifications. And if you continue to watch this, then I'll continue to put it out. But if you've got a pour, hopefully you can have it with someone that you care about, and you can continue to make those memories like I did with my brother this weekend, and Sean and everybody else. So anyway, have a great day. See you at the next one.